Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniela, and in this video I'm going to show you how to take in the waist of jeans. This is a problem I have with almost every ready-to-wear jeans, and I know many other people do as well. Here is how to do it. I take the waist in at the center back seam because this is where the gap usually forms. I wouldn't work at the center back only if there is too much to take in and the back pockets are going to come too close or even overlap. In any other case, the center back seam is where I work. I take measure on the person and I pinch the excessive fabric with my fingers. Then I put pins to mark how wide is the gap and how low I need to go. I then move the pins to one side so that it's easier for the person to take the jeans off. The way I've marked, I actually need to take in the same amount on the other side of the seam. I take off the belt loop at the center back and the label on the inside. I remove everything that stays in the way. Sometimes there would be two belt loops at the center back, so I need to remove both. I detach the waistband from the jeans. I need to break enough of both stitches and go at least an inch more than the pins, so I have enough space to sew. Very often the gap will go as low as the yoke or just in the waistband area, and then I unpick less of the center back seams. But in this case I need to go lower. I will go down to the crotch area, but not all the way down to the inseam. I don't want to mess with it because if I do, I will have to do a lot more work, which I always try to avoid with alterations. Then I go to the actual center back seam. I start breaking the seam at the bottom to mark how low I want to go, and then I move to the top because it's a chain stitch and that is the direction in which it unravels. I remove the needle threads and the preparation is done. So let's do the actual sewing. As much as she doesn't want to appear on camera, my mom is going to help me with this because I forgot to bring my tripod to the studio and I have to be behind the camera. To begin with, she cuts through the waistband. She measures the exact middle by holding both side seams together. Then she transfers the pin position to the fabric on all waistband layers. She sews both layers of the waistband at the marks, making sure that she sews each of the waistband layers with itself. This way she takes in the waist as much as we've measured in the beginning. She folds the new seam allowance in. Let's move to the center back seam. To begin, she makes a basting stitch to fix the back pieces together as they used to be. By doing this, we make sure that the sides won't twist and we will take in an even amount on both sides. She uses the chalk to transfer the pin position to the fabric so that the pins don't stay in the way when she sews. Then she is going to sew the new center back seam following the marks and creating the shape that we've measured on the person. Now is the time to check the face side and possibly try on the new shape, because this is the way the jeans are going to look and fit when done. If you like what you've done, the next step would be to remove the excess fabric on the inside. We are going to use the serger. If you don't own a serger, use pinking shears or regular scissors and then some overcasting stitch that your machine has. Leave enough seam allowance to be able to restore the top stitching later. In our case, 1 full seam allowance is enough. Restore the top stitching over the seam allowance. Start with the line of stitching that is closer to the center seam. Fold the seam allowance under and go all the way down until you reach the inseam. Pivot there, and when you reach the appropriate place for the second line of stitching, pivot once again. Sew the top stitch all the way up to the waistband. Now let's deal with the waistband. Fold the seam allowance in so that it lays flat. To fix it in place and make it less bulky, you might steam iron it. We like to use this little hammer to deal with the bulkiness. Make both lines of stitching where they used to be to restore the shape of the waistband. Finally, attach the belt loop back in place. We are going to skip the label on the inside since it's too much of a hassle, but if you want it back in place, sew it to the waistband while it is still one layer. Here's how our jeans look like when done. You can see a bit of the darker lines left from the original stitching, but they go into the crotch area and are hard to notice. Plus, they usually fade away with washing. I hope you liked this video. If so, don't forget to give it the thumbs up and subscribe. Also, click on the notification bell because in the next video I'm going to show you how to sew a box pleat skirt. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!